Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Stick to firmly. Criminal law. Money that must be forfeited by the bondsman if an accused person fails to appear in court for trial. A $10,000 bond was furnished by an alderman. A certificate of debt, usually interest-bearing or discounted, that is issued by a government or corporation in order to raise money. The issuer is required to pay a fixed sum annually until maturity and then a fixed sum to repay the principal. A superior quality of strong durable white writing paper, originally made for printing documents. Create social or emotional ties. The grandparents want to bond with the child. A restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. Bring together in a common cause or emotion. The property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different composition. A connection based on kinship or marriage or common interest. Their friendship constitutes a powerful bond between them. United States civil rights leader who was elected to the legislature in Georgia but was barred from taking his seat because he opposed the Vietnam War, born 1940. British secret operative 007 in novels by Ian Fleming. A connection that fastens things together. An electrical force linking atoms. Issue bonds on. Stick to firmly. Will this wallpaper adhere to the wall? Be a devoted follower or supporter. The residents of this village adhered to Catholicism. Be loyal to. Come or be in close contact with, stick or hold together and resist separation. Be compatible or in accordance with. You must adhere to the rules. Follow through or carry out a plan without deviation. They adhered to their plan. Stick to firmly. Create social or emotional ties. Fasten or secure with a rope, string, or cord. Cause to be constipated. Bind by an obligation, cause to be indebted. Wrap around with something so as to cover or enclose. Secure with or as if with ropes. Form a chemical bond with. The hydrogen binds the oxygen. Make fast, tie or secure, with or as if with a rope. The Chinese would bind the feet of their women. Provide with a binding. Bind the books in leather. Something that hinders as if with bonds. Stick to firmly. Marijuana leaves rolled into a cigarette for smoking. Stick to firmly. Be a devoted follower or supporter. She sticks to her principles. Stay put, in a certain place. Put, fix, force, or implant. Stick your thumb in the crack. Be a mystery or bewildering to. A lever used by a pilot to control the ailerons and elevators of an airplane. Be loyal to. Informal terms for the leg. Fever left him weak on his sticks. Saddle with something disagreeable or disadvantageous. Come or be in close contact with, stick or hold together and resist separation. A long implement, usually made of wood, that is shaped so that hockey or polo players can hit a puck or ball. A long thin implement resembling a length of wood. Cinnamon sticks. An implement consisting of a length of wood. He collected dry sticks for a campfire. A rectangular quarter-pound block of butter or margarine. A small thin branch of a tree. Be or become fixed. The door sticks, we will have to plane it. Cover and decorate with objects that pierce the surface. Stick some feathers in the turkey before you serve it. Endure. Fasten into place by fixing an end or point into something. Stick the corner of the sheet under the mattress. Fasten with an adhesive material like glue. Stick the poster onto the wall. Fasten with or as with pins or nails. Stick the photo onto the corkboard. Pierce or penetrate or puncture with something pointed. Pierce with a thrust using a pointed instrument. Threat of a penalty. The policy so far is all stick and no carrot. Stick to firmly. Keep to. Stick to the diet. Criminal law. Money that must be forfeited by the bondsman if an accused person fails to appear in court for trial. The judge set bail at $10,000. Deliver something in trust to somebody for a special purpose and for a limited period. Empty a vessel, by bailing. Release after a security has been paid. Remove water from a vessel with a container. Secure the release of someone by providing security. The legal system that allows an accused person to be temporarily released from custody, usually on condition that a sum of money guarantees their appearance at trial. He is out on bail. Criminal law. Money that must be forfeited by the bondsman if an accused person fails to appear in court for trial. A certificate of debt, usually interest-bearing or discounted, that is issued by a government or corporation in order to raise money. The issuer is required to pay a fixed sum annually until maturity and then a fixed sum to repay the principal. A superior quality of strong durable white writing paper, originally made for printing documents. Take temporary possession of as a security, by legal authority. Create social or emotional ties. Be attached. Be in contact with. Become attached. The spider's thread attached to the window sill. Cause to be attached. A social or business relationship. He was sorry he had to sever his ties with other members of the team. A fastener that serves to join or connect. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. The teams drew a tie. Create social or emotional ties. One of the cross braces that support the rails on a railway track. The British call a railroad tie a sleeper. A horizontal beam used to prevent two other structural members from spreading apart or separating. He nailed the rafters together with a tie beam. Fasten or secure with a rope, string, or cord. They tied their victim to the chair. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. Their record was 3 wins, 6 losses and a tie. Connect, fasten, or put together 2 or more pieces. Neckwear consisting of a long narrow piece of material worn, mostly by men, under a collar and tied in knot at the front. He stood in front of the mirror tightening his necktie. Perform a marriage ceremony. A cord, or string or ribbon or wire etc., with which something is tied. He needed a tie for the packages. Equality of score in a contest. Form a knot or bow in. Tie a necktie. Limit or restrict to. I am tied to eunuchs. Make by tying pieces together. The fishermen tied their flies. Music, a slur over two notes of the same pitch, indicates that the note is to be sustained for their combined time value. Unite musical notes by a tie. Prevent the progress or free movement of. He was hampered in his efforts by the bad weather. A restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. Put at a disadvantage. A basket usually with a cover. Bind the arms of. A restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. Restrain with fetters. A U-shaped bar. The open end can be passed through chain links and closed with a bar. Catch in or as if in a trap. A fishing net with 3 layers. The outer 2 are coarse mesh and the loose inner layer is fine mesh. A restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. An adjustable pothook set in a fireplace. A restraint that is used to teach a horse to amble. Bring together in a common cause or emotion. The property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different composition. Faithful support for a cause or political party or religion. Adherence to a fat-free diet. The property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different composition. A heated hydraulic press was required for adhesion. Faithful support for a cause or political party or religion. The adhesion of Seville was decisive. Abnormal union of bodily tissues, most common in the abdomen. A fibrous band of scar tissue that binds together normally separate anatomical structures. The property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different composition. The mutual adhesiveness of cells. The state of being allied or confederated. A connection based on kinship or marriage or common interest. The shifting alliances within a large family. The act of forming an alliance or confederation. An organization of people, or countries, involved in a pact or treaty. A formal agreement establishing an association or alliance between nations or other groups to achieve a particular aim. United States civil rights leader who was elected to the legislature in Georgia but was barred from taking his seat because he opposed the Vietnam War, born 1940. British secret operative 007 in novels by Ian Fleming. The act of attaching or affixing something. The act of fastening things together. A feeling of affection for a person or an institution. A connection that fastens things together. Faithful support for a cause or political party or religion. Attachment to a formal agenda. A supplementary part or accessory. A writ authorizing the seizure of property that may be needed for the payment of a judgment in a judicial proceeding. An electrical force linking atoms. Law. A security entered into before a court with a condition to perform some act required by law. On failure to perform that act, a sum is forfeited. Law. A security entered into before a court with a condition to perform some act required by law. On failure to perform that act, a sum is forfeited. A written promise to repay a debt. A formal declaration that documents a fact of relevance to finance and investment. The holder has a right to receive interest or dividends. A document attesting to the truth of certain stated facts. Authorize by certificate. Present someone with a certificate. A written promise to repay a debt. Defense against financial failure, financial independence. His pension gave him security in his old age. A formal declaration that documents a fact of relevance to finance and investment. The holder has a right to receive interest or dividends. An electrical device that sets off an alarm when someone tries to break in. A department responsible for the security of the institution's property and workers. The head of security was a former policeman. A guarantee that an obligation will be met. Property that your creditor can claim in case you default on your obligation. Bankers are reluctant to lend without good security. Measures taken as a precaution against theft or espionage or sabotage, etc. Military security has been stepped up since the recent uprising. Freedom from anxiety or fear. The watchdog gave her a feeling of security. The state of being free from danger or injury. We support the armed services in the name of national security. A personal relation in which one is indebted for a service or favor. A written promise to repay a debt. The social force that binds you to the courses of action demanded by that force. Every right implies a responsibility. Every opportunity, an obligation. Every possession, a duty. A legal agreement specifying a payment or action and the penalty for failure to comply. The state of being obligated to do or pay something. He is under an obligation to finish the job.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.